Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. 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 Please don't let me.
Whale, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. My God, man, it's good to be back. I was actually afraid that I wasn't going to be able to record a video this morning because my streaming software was not working. In fact, that's the reason why I did not do a live stream on Twitch yesterday. For whatever reason, my streaming software is causing everything to lock on up. I think I found at least a good enough solution for right now. So we're back on, baby, and I'm definitely going to be doing a Twitch stream later today, preferably a very long one, but I have to decide first and foremost if I want to eat as much meat as possible beforehand or after. So might be starting a little bit later, but I'm in for the fucking set today, and all rested up, all amped up, and man, those sessions are very, very fun. So I'll have a link in the description of this video to that channel on Twitch. I'm also on Mixer as well, if you do prefer that venue. I don't really have a preference on them, but they're both pretty cool. Anyways, again, I want to say massive thank you to everyone who showed support during that last little debacle that we had this past week with all the crypto content creators. Very, very frustrating situation. You know, just some sort of a group on Telegram, I guess, targeting people, you know, mass flagging their videos and taking advantage of YouTube's algorithm, and then just like, you know, pounding my DMs with how happy they are about it. But fair enough, you know, not here to control people, and at the end of the day, people are free to do what they want to do, and thank God, you know, YouTube was quite helpful in this situation, and of course the community as well. So again, massive thank you. And you know, as always, I want to remind people that your support and what was done during that time really did matter, really did help. And you know, as always, it's kind of like easy for us to kind of feel maybe like we can't make a change or anything. Well, I think it certainly did help. So again, massive thank you. I guess I'll get into live stream right now because I do want to talk about the sale that I have going on. I still have yet to make an announcement on the Discord channel, but I will do that either later today or tomorrow. Actually, I also do want to mention that right now I am the first trade that I've been in for quite some time. But before we get into that, Jesus Christ, I'm all over the place today. Just want to build up some excitement for the video, man, before we do the shilling portion. Anyways, yes, all the programs are 20% off with no code. No code is needed. it's built in just on the website, crowntrading.net. The link will also be in the description of this video as well. And the two programs that are available right now are one, the technical analysis program, or what we refer to as the technical analysis program, and then also the options program. Both of these programs are 35 hours long. In fact, I should probably stop saying that now because both of them are longer than that by at least a few hours. And these are very intensive programs. So for most people, these are going to be they're just not reasonable. You don't need to go through this. It doesn't need to be done. These are really designed for people who want to do this in a more professional manner, as someone who does this, for typically a living. Not everyone who gets into it is of that same mindset, but we want to kind of have a community that is of that same mindset because, well, you're going to be getting access into the private Discord community as well, which, it's important to keep that group discussion focused in a sense. More importantly, on top of that, make sure that's a good fit for you. Take advantage of the free content first. That's probably going to be a good enough way to know, like, if this, if this is even relevant to you, if you even want to do this. And of course, these are big, like I said, time and financial commitments. So if you don't have the time for it, you're not going to make the most out of the program. And I would just say that at the outset, that's probably the biggest thing from my end. So if you don't have the time, definitely do not get one of them. And like I said, the TA 101 playlist and shit tons of content. I mean, I've well over 1,000 videos, and I know because I literally just went through all of them to make them like unprivate and then private of content. And you're more than welcome to take advantage of that first and foremost before considering these. And of course, you reach out to me if you got any questions with them. Although the videos accompanying them right here and right here are going to hopefully answer just about all questions. I should say that the TA program is not just technical analysis, it's also risk management, position management, understanding underlying market dynamics, and much more. Also access to a couple of proprietary indicators. And the options program is just with the derivatives, products, options. So options are even less relevant to people because most people starting out are going to want something like this. The options program is another step up. It's a lot more intense. It's a lot more complicated, but the payoff is a lot more as well. I would say that is the basis of my game, and it's such a travesty that I actually don't have access to options right now. Anyways, I think I've said maybe all the things that I want to say. Jackie's psychology group is up for signups right now. I need to start including links to that in the description of these videos, which I'll do after this video. He's only accepting 5 people, and the group starts first week of January. Anyways, okay, cool. Let's actually get into it now. Let's talk about some goddamn Magic Eden money, and we actually saw something quite interesting yesterday. We saw our first daily dodo close above both the red 10 simple and the yellow 21 exponential moving average right here as of yesterday, and more importantly, today we are now using these two guys as support, and if we do see that 10 simple cross the upside of the 21, I do believe that we're going to see another test back up to the 7550, 7600 region right around here, right around our last prior high, which is going to be in line with the green 55 exponential moving average on the daily, and also the 2-day 21 exponential moving average right here. Now, of course, this is low time frame stuff, and make no mistake about it, we are still in an overall downtrend, and not only are we in an overall downtrend, but we are in a descending triangle as well. So formation is bearish, trend is bearish. A lot of other things are quite bearish, but short term, medium term, does look like Bitcoin wants to go up here. And it's the same thing as what we spoke about yesterday. So I'm following up from yesterday's video. I've actually taken position off that, got a position a little bit below 7,300, which I'm quite happy about. And I'll be managing risk quite tightly with that, of course. I'm just waiting for the question. But Krown, what leverage did you use? Doesn't fucking matter, man. Cross, as always. Anyways, as you can see right here, nothing really changes from even the medium to higher time frames until we actually fully and formally close some higher level dildos, at the very least a 12-hour, preferably a daily or 2-day, back above the 21 exponential moving average on the 2-day, which is actually going to be just a smidgen lower than our last prior high, right around 75. If we could do anywhere around 75.50 on a closure, that would look pretty damn good to extend that target, not just to 75.50 to 7600, but actually all the way up here towards this high from late November, which would be in the upper 7,000, around 7,800, 7,900ish region. So extend that target another 200, 300 bucks, which this is a very tradable move, and that's when things actually do start to change on this. If we do see sustained closure on some of these higher time frames above, let's call it, even 7,600 would be a pretty big deal, because it would be another high or anywhere above these guys. In fact, actually, you know what? I would actually like to stick with that. I would like to stick with that. It's like judging my own analysis already. No, but my point is that if we do get back above there, I think that it really, really does. It likely longer term we will work our way up into this next targeted region right here between about 83 and 8,600ish region, which I'm actually going to put in a nice blue box of peace and prosperity for bull Jesus over here if we do work our way up to above there. But again, of course, first things first, need to make a higher high on at least a fucking 12-hour. 2-day would be great. Back above 75.50 right here. I'd extend the target to 78, 7,900, and personally I do think that Bitcoin would have a small pullback from there and then continuation onwards and upwards into this territory right here. Things are looking a little bit better. We do see 12-hour Stokes starting to curl back around to the upside, which have been phenomenally powerful. Again, blindly trading these for the past year, and I hate saying shit like this, but it's true. Have been profitable and phenomenally profitable at that. It's gotten all the big moves, really. Looking at 12-hour RSI, it is starting to negate some hidden bearish divergence. Well, you could say that we already played that out, so fair enough. So no, it's not negating it or anything like that. But we are seeing momentum also to switch back around. RSI to a neutral posturing, and Stokes saying that we probably have some upside from this region. And again, we could fill out this space a little bit more within this ascending triangle, and not break the topside resistance of it, and still remain overall bearish. So I'm really not changing on the macro here. On the macro, everything is more or less the same, but on the short-term timeframes to the medium-term timeframes, there is looking like a couple plays that we got in our face right now. So what else do we have on the daily? Daily is a little bit in limbo right here. We do see that that daily RSI it's not giving us too much. We do have hidden bearish divergence present. However, if we do get this next move up, we will negate that. So that's why this 75.50ish region right here is so damn critical. If Bitcoin can close back above it, it's going to really start to rewrite. No, it's not rewriting anything, but it's going to start to change around the bias, especially in the short and medium term timeframes, to some more upside. So this area right here, absolutely critical. It would be a higher high above this mid-December high, and also this one that we got right in over here as well. basically between about 7550 to 7600. So I do like that area a lot. A lot of major movement averages coming in within there, and if we can get back above there, I would say that this run likely gets extended a lot more to the upside. But in the shorter term time frames, still this would be our next big resistance right around here, and I probably would be looking for at the very least a short-term pullback if we do make our way up into that region. Looking at daily Stokes, we do see that daily Stokes are weak within the bullish control zone. So if Bitcoin can actually dig in its feet here and get this next closure, or even just move to the top side of the range, we actually will see this cross back up to the upside, and that'll be resiliency within the bullish control zone, telling us that we actually do want to stay there for quite some time. And daily RSI, like I said, it's going to have a chance to undo the hidden bearish divergence, which would be quite powerful as well. So a little bit of a fake out being the extra indicator telling you in your face that trend is actually changing, especially on the lower term timeframes. Looking at historical volatility percentile, we are still contracting, so I'm not looking. So what this tells me is that it's unlikely that we actually do break this to the upside today. It's also very unlikely that we break this to the downside today. It's more likely that we continue to fill out this ascending triangle for the days to come, and we probably don't have a decision being made on this until probably end of first week January, which is coming up, to be fair. It's coming up in quite literally about a week and a half. So we probably do start to see that around that time, but for now, still contracting within this region. And also you see the same sort of signature on the volume signature down here as well. It's contracting into a very, 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 very tight area, and that does tell us that we are likely to see a move. In fact, it's almost synonymous with the bottom term trend line for this channel that we got going on right here. But again, suggesting that early January, we probably do see a breakout of this region. Now, it doesn't imply direction. In fact, because it is ascending triangle, it actually would apply to the downside. But looking at the lower time frame here, I am hesitant to follow through with that. Bitcoin not only is kind of fighting off a couple major movement averages right here and switching around the lower term time frame momentum, but also we have actually yet again confirmed another higher low right here. So we have low, higher high, or well, there's your high, there's your higher high, come back down, set in a higher low right here, just barely, but it is present. So what we spoke about yesterday is really actually starting to come to fruition. So that was the first big thing yesterday, to saying, hey, if I'm looking for reasons to be bullish off this area, this would be a good start. We got another higher low right here. If we can make a higher high over this guy, that would be that also would be very good. Of course, I want to bring it back to this one as well, which the crypto fucking community has just become such a major echo chamber. But it's all good, man. I mean, we're all here. We're all here for the same reasons, most likely. But the crypto, or sorry, not the crypto, but the hash ribbons also painting a historically phenomenal buy signal. In fact, we do see that Bitcoin is once again actually undoing all the damage that we saw in early December, and giving us a buy signal right here. Now, going back in time and kind of judging these, and there Bitcoin goes, 73.50, not bad. There you go, you little moochy fuck. Sorry, I love you, Bitcoin. But boy, Jesus, don't hate me. Don't nail me to the cross. Just give it a buy signal on the hash ribbons right here. No, but my point is that we've seen plenty of these happen before, and the validity of them has actually been very good. It's actually never been wrong in the sense that it generally gets the next sort of phase right. So when it does give you a buy signal, as you can see, the low is typically in, like the ultimate low. And in Bitcoin, while it doesn't necessarily get the momentum right, and I would say it actually gets momentum quite poorly, it would suggest that the low is likely in, and we probably do have some real upside to test before turning back around anytime soon. In fact, anytime that we've gotten a buy signal, well, no, that has not always been true, what I was just about to say, so I'm not going to say it. But what we can say is, it's kind of zeroing in all of them, and you can decide for yourself, essentially, buy signal right here. Yes, Bitcoin does kind of slump down on the lows a few times, but overall, the low is in essentially from that point. We get a couple buy signals right here. This one obviously not so good. This one also very terrible as far as timing goes, but is the ultimate low in from that past downside debacle? Yes, it is, and same thing for this one right here, of course. Even though, again, the momentum shift of the momentum play, this is not good for at all. So we could still go sideways for another few months. That would be completely within the realm of possibility. I need to take a sip of this water, man, because I'm really thirsty. There we go. And then same thing going back on over here. You can see this one for yourself, and again, I'll let you decide for yourself. But basically the same sort of thing. The low is in, the momentum not necessarily being gained to the other side just yet. And yes, we can come back down and kind of grind that low out. However, no new lows are really made, at least not on like a daily to closing basis, which I think is quite important. I think it's also important to, what else do we want to look at? Let's see. Now, of course, at the end of the day, the weekly trend on Bitcoin has been a major decider. It pretty much gets all. It doesn't pretty much get. It has gotten all of the major moves right in Bitcoin's history. Until we actually create an uptrend on a weekly, it is always going to be in the back of my mind's eye that potentially we do have some more downside to go. As any weekly trend shift, any weekly trend reversal in Bitcoin has always been met by those humongous moves. Now, it's not going to get you the ultimate high right here at 20,000, but it will get you 16,000 right here. It's not going to get you the ultimate low at 3,100 right here, but it is going to get you either 34 or 4,000 right here, of which we got both of those. And of course, below, it didn't tell me to sell right here, but it did tell me to sell at 10.3. And these are more long-term plays, of course. Anyways, the way that this kind of is right now is we do potentially have something new going on. Do we have a higher low on a weekly here? Actually, yes, we do. Now, is a higher low enough to confirm a trend reversal? No. We need both a higher low and a higher high. And in this case, getting a higher high is going to be quite the bitch because, well, Bitcoin's last high on a weekly is all the way at 9,500. So here's the thing. I think it's very likely that we do have some more upside from this region. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the trend has reversed, forever, and it's time to, sing fucking kumbaya to bull Jesus that we're going back to 20,000 and beyond. No, not even 20,000, but 200 billion thousand. So, which is not even a fucking number, so it doesn't make sense. But you get my point, anyways. The thing with this is that, even in your downwards markets, you do have your nice ups. Of course, things don't move in a straight line. I mean, 2018 was quite annoying for that. I'm sure for a lot of people who remember this. And same thing around and over here. So regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, I do think that it's actually more likely that we do have some more upside from this region right here. But keep in mind that again, the trend on the weekly does not officially reverse till we get back above this area right here. We're still within this ascending channel longer term, anyways. And that topside resistance would be coming in significantly lower than that last prior high, somewhere around this blue box territory, which would be in the middle 8,000, essentially that secondary target. If we do start to really take out 7,600, in my opinion. Now, of course, it goes without saying that 7,900 is an area of interest as well. My personal opinion is that Bitcoin would only have a short-term consolidation and then another try to the upside from there. But we could get all the way up here, still hit the top side of this baby, and continue, to the downside longer term. So I do think that this is quite interesting because we are in a falling channel, which typically do break out to the upside. Not always, but statistically speaking, it is more likely to break out to the upside than the downside. And but there's no time component implied within that. In fact, we can stay within channels for eternity, really. I mean, I've seen stocks stay in there for 5-10 years sometimes. It's fucking crazy. Now, I don't think that Bitcoin's going to be stuck here for like 5-10 years. I don't think it's even going to spend like another year here. But we do have a few things going on, of course. So looking at the 2-day right here, again, we do technically have actually a descending triangle in place as it is. So, and like I said, this is a downtrend. So it is still likely more to break onto the downside. Could it be that Bitcoin does, test the upside resistance once again, has another sell-off from there, and then we actually do play out some downside? Yeah, perhaps, yes. So as far as this greater formation goes, I really wouldn't call it until we confirm a 2-day close above the 21 at the very least, and preferably above this last prior high right here, which is a smidgen above 7,500. And to the downside, again, which is more likely, technically speaking, and we can make a measure move, which is shown right here. I'd wait for a 2-day total closure below this last prior low, which is basically synonymous with a 377, which is a smidgen above 6,900. So that would be the real way to call it. And for full disclosure, I am long right now. I am long from a little bit below 7,300. I don't know just yet if it's going to turn into a scalpy scalp or if it's going to be a little bit of a hodl trade. Anyways, this measured move off of this target from the descending triangle, funnily enough, actually would line up perfectly with the bottom side of support of this falling channel, which would also be the bottom side support from what we saw during all of 2018, a fucking year-long support. Not only that, but if we throw on the volume profile, you can notice that the last of the higher value nodes are coming within this region as well. Not only that, let's take it one step, but wait, there's more, some bullshit like that. Not only we have all those areas kind of marked off there, but I'm sure that if we go on maybe to like a weekly or something like that, the weekly 21 exponential moving average, or sorry, not 21, but 200 is probably going to work its way up above there. But what about the 3-day? The 3-day 377 is coming in there as well. Hasn't really been all that. I mean, it kind of did get our last lows from 2014, 2015 kind of well. But anytime that we've been below, typically we're close to putting the lows and not like the end all be all of this analysis, but just another confluential factor kind of suggesting interest within that region if we do break to the downside. So, again, for full disclosure, I am long right now. I'm actually long. Let's go over and check out. What else do we want to check out? Let's see 3-day momentum oscillators, 3-day Stokes looking good here. Pointed back up. 3-day RSI is actually looking constructive as well, and looking good here actually. That is, I mean, I wouldn't say like it's super good, but it's looking constructive enough to mount a base essentially. Jesus Christ, man, I'm really struggling with more words today. I got a good night's sleep last night, but I woke up in like a haze. It felt like 2-day Stokes still up, but they actually make me a little bit more apprehensive than anything else. Kind of almost looks like a reset. Looking at 2-day RSI, we have that same sort of hidden bearish divergence present, but I do believe that's already played out. You had it right here, then we got all the way down to the low side of the range, and that was basically at our target at 7,000. It was what like $50 up. Fair enough, probably close enough. On the longer term, that's going to be close enough, I'd imagine. So. Yeah, I do think that's played out quite well, and the next sort of portion of this is going to be interesting. Now to the upside, could you make the same measure move to the upside? Technically, no, but you do actually see this work a lot of the time in Bitcoin land, and guess what? It would actually be pointed right towards that blue box territory, which is pretty much in line with this long-term descending trend line. So I do like a lot of those things. That's also what I wanted to look at. There's probably some sort of, I'd imagine there's probably gonna be some sort of a fib coming in here as well. Let's see. Okay, let's go bottom to top, and maybe if we do this, something like that. Do we see anything coming in here? No, not necessarily, but let's see what happens if we take this would actually be very nasty if we take a different type of retracement on it. Well, in this case, still no. No, I'm just drawing lines right now. Got to be honest with yourself when you are just drawing lines and when you're doing actual technical analysis. And right there, that was searching for something to confirm my beliefs rather than just going off of what was presented. So fair enough. That's what I'm looking at right there. We can also look at the Bitcoin network momentum. I don't look at this too often, but it is interesting nonetheless because we are still technically creating higher lows on a macro basis here. We did come just shy of taking out the last prior low from late 2018 in the late 2019 session right here. But as you can see, it is still kind of holding up, and for now, we still do have higher lows if you want to look at the macro. So again, just kind of showing some more things that a little bit more on the optimistic side, I suppose. Looking at the Bitcoin difficulty ribbon, what do we have here? We are contracting on each other coming into the halving, as we have the last couple times. Usually coming into that region, we do go sideways for a while. So I would say, again, putting all of the puzzle pieces together, the most bullish thing for Bitcoin would be to go sideways for the next few months within this region. That would be very indicative of a long-term base being put in and accumulation going down, and accumulation going up essentially, and wrong turn of phrase right there, and would look better from a longer-term perspective. So I am starting to really entertain these sorts of possibilities right now. But as it stands, I want to be very, very direct where my opinion changes on a lot of these things. It is also worth mentioning that the weekly 89 exponential moving average right here, if we could close above it, that would obviously be more good than bad. But still, just having negative slopes on the red 10 simple and the yellow 21 exponential moving average on the weekly has been good enough to force Bitcoin down. All these 70% moves in the past. In fact, this guy right here, of course, from prior top to next low, down 73%. Then we get this example right here. To your next low was 68%, pretty damn similar. Then the time before that we had negative slopes on these babies was back on over here. Take the prior high to the next low, 78%. This one right here, take prior high to next low, 71.25%. Take this one right here, prior high to next low, 75%. And we actually do have the same sort of signature going on right here as well. And thus far from prior high to next low, we've actually only done about 54.5%, which is pretty nasty, to be fair. I mean, that's not like it's not small or anything like that. but still not really within the realm of what we've seen prior. Also, the Bitcoin VWAP ratio still bearish, still very bearish here. And anytime that we've gotten this signature where we get the purple below the pink, we have actually seen 70% drops or more pretty much all the same times. But I've gone through this many times. I'll briefly go through it here. There's three things to be aware of, and there's three obviously different moving averages on the VWAP ratio. The blue being the most reactive, purple being middle, pink being least. And anytime that they all get above where my cursor currently is right now, just imagine a regression through there, we're generally bullish. Whenever they all get below, we're generally bearish. But it's actually been shown, it's actually been seen on each one of these major downs. Anytime we've gotten a purple below the pink, that has actually produced a 70% down or more in the past on Bitcoin, all of these ones, basically getting them all perfectly. So we have this example right here from about the 10,000 high to $3,000 low, 70% down. You can do that one. That one can be done in your head. 20,000 down to 6,000, another 70% down right here. This guy right here on this bull trap, this price point all the way to this one, we already measured that one out, 70%. And then this guy right here, another 70% one that we did. This guy right here, again, another 70% one. And this one back on over here, actually 90%, so a little bit more, but again, to me, that is, that's still on the board, and that is still quite bearish. And we still, we've done about 50% down from our last prior high to where we are right now. So is that enough? Is that enough, or does Bitcoin longer term want to go down further? I still think that, as long as we're in a weekly downtrend, I have to be overall bearish. And technically speaking, I actually do think that it's quite likely that we'd come down to 5,500, maybe even lower than that in the mid to low 4,000. So Bitcoin still got a lot of work to do here. And while short term, medium term, might be looking for a couple $100 to the upside, maybe even more than that if things get crazy. Still, the long term is very much unchanged, and we are getting very, very close to the monthly closing as well. And the monthly does not look all that hot right now. Now, here's the thing: there's two competing narratives going on. Momentum oscillators are bearish. Monthly Stokes down, rejecting the bullish control zone. Monthly RSI very bearish, actually rejecting the bullish control zone, rejecting the exponential, and down. But what I do like about this chart, actually, as it stands, we are above the monthly 21 exponential average, and I do hesitate to get very bearish on an asset until we actually fully and formally close a monthly below the 21. Now, again, if we do close below, I actually would look for that move into the mid to low 5,000s in line with the 55 right here, and also in line with those, more perverted targets that we took, from those deeper retracements, essentially. But until we actually close below there, I can't really front run a trade like that. And this has been worked phenomenally well in Bitcoin's history. Anytime that we are generally above the 21, we are bullish. Anytime that we are below, we are generally bearish. We're in a longer term down market, of course. And so right now we're kind of like at a decision point. And right now we are about a couple $100 above. It comes in at 7,100. So still a couple days left in the month to go. We still got tomorrow and then the next day, and then 2019 is fucking over, man. New decade, my friends. But for now, a little bit scary there. Anyways, what else do we want to look at? We haven't even looked at the lower time frames at all. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, we'll go into them right now. 4 hour, looks like we just found some resistance right around the 200 exponential average right here. Nice little move up to 73.70-ish region. I don't really have too much to make out of this. Lower time frames, I think, are going to be mostly a distraction at this point in the market cycle, just because the lower time frames are not going to let you know about the big moves right now. The 12-hour daily and above are going to let you know about the big moves right now. And of course, that's typically true. But when we're hot on the trending side, you can trust in your lower time frames to kind of get you, the entry on the pullbacks or bounce or whatever it might be. But at this point in time, because we've been consolidating on the lows for quite some time, it tells me that we are in a decision phase. It's time to hang out. It's time to look at the higher time frames, and that's where all of the obvious things are going on right now. But if I did have to say something about the lower time frames, we do see 4 hour Stokes up. What about 3 hour Stokes? They should be up as well. No, they're actually crossing down. They're curling down right now. 2 hour Stokes are down as well. Hourly are up. So we see bifurcation amongst all these, which tells me that we probably go more and more sideways within this region right now. And I'm probably going to end up just taking a scalp off this trade instead of, actually we even have some bearish divergence on an hourly right now. Oh, fuck. Maybe even short term coming back down below 72.50. Again, I don't trust the lower time frames in this measurement, but we do see historical volatility percentile on the hourly getting very, 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 very low. So a move likely is coming, like a decent, $100, $200 move is coming. Same thing with the 2 hourly. What about the 3 hour? 3 hour is contracting, but not so down. 4 hours contracting and pretty far down as well. What about the 30 minute? 30-minute actually gets it extremely right. The 30-minute is probably one of the best time frames for this, and it would also agree with those sentiments. Says that we do have a short-term time frame move likely come in. If we kind of line that up with the medium to higher time frames, I would imagine that likely does force us back up to one of the extremes of the range. In this case, to the upside, that would be about 7,500. To the downside, that would be like 6950 region. And right now, it's looking a little bit more to the upside, I suppose. So yeah. What else do we want to look at? Is there anything on the other more obscure time frames, like a 6 hour? Don't really see anything obvious. Still don't see anything obvious. 10 hour looks okay. Nothing's too obvious to me here. The only thing that I'm really looking for is the daily. As long as the daily is above the 21, okay. Now, if the daily fails to get continuation from here, actually around closure, I probably would automatically close this trade at that point. Still would likely be in profit. Likely fine. Maybe a small loss if we do come back down pretty hard. But for right now, if we are going to see the upside tested, I actually do not think that Bitcoin's going to end the day around here. It would, we'd likely actually see that move mostly happen today. If Bitcoin is going to test some upside, I would not expect it to go. I would not expect it to close at low 7,300. If that does happen, this is probably going to be another failed rally attempt, or at the very least, I would not want anything of it. I would want to kind of pull back my own trading habits and reassess and probably take any open trades off. But of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would say that any sort of a daily total close, especially above 74, is going to get the 10 symbol to cross into the upside of the 21, and fair enough. I think I do have a video uploaded on that on my YouTube channel that's 100% free, describing that strategy. So for right now, I'm just kind of sitting back, enjoying this one, first trade in a long time, and I suppose in the meantime we can do a quick gander at the Bitcoin dominance rate. Let's see. It's already been a 31-minute long video, but you know what? I'm kind of enjoying these shorter videos, and I will be on Twitch later today. Let's see. Daily on dominance does look like it wants to consolidate a little bit to the downside. Longer term, still very bullish, so I'd still be very long-term bullish on it. Short-term, medium term probably does come down a bit. No real strong opinion. Maybe we come down to like 68.8, or sorry, 69.8, not 68.8. Maybe like as much as like 69.8, something like that. But longer term, I'm still very, very bullish on this. I guess we can briefly look at some altcoins versus dollar today. Why not? Because it's a little bit of a shorter one anyways. Mr. Buterol putting in a little bit of his symmetrical triangle, or is this a descending triangle on the lows? I'd say it's actually a little bit more of a symmetrical triangle, even though it's really, really sloppy, something like this. So Mr. Buterol is kind of doing a obviously a consolidation on the lows. If we do break out to the upside, I would target a move up here towards 140. If we do break to the downside, I target a move towards new lows of 116. Sorry, 1116. What about Mrs. Litecoin? Do we see anything here as well? Actually, Mrs. Litecoin looking better. Mrs. Litecoin looking more bullish. We do have a higher high above this guy right here, or gal, or whatever the fuck it might be. Yes, we are right at resistance, but I would say that any sort of a daily total close above 43 and a third, and I'd be looking for an extension up into the mid 40s, about 45 to 46 bucks. What else do we got? I think that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much it today. So yeah, most alts versus Satoshi is probably going to be going actually up in the short to medium term, but longer term, I'd still be massively bullish on the dominance chart. Bitcoin itself, still, the 2-day getting everything right. I do think that as long as we're below the 21 and as long as we're above the 377 especially, and that would be 75.50 and 69.50 respectively. I don't see any real major breakout of this. We're still technically in more bearish territory than bullish, of course, but shorter term and medium term timeframes are suggesting that we do test a little bit to the upside here. So I am patiently waiting for that, and like I said, in position for now, but longer term, really nothing changed longer term, unfortunately. But for right now, that's going to do it. What else do we want to say? Am I missing anything? Probably missing some. I did feel like I kind of woke up in a little bit of a haste state, but that's okay. So yeah, I'll be back on Twitch later today. I don't know if I still haven't decided to myself if I'm going to start it immediately after posting this video, or if I'm going to go eat first. I'm probably going to go eat first. Why not? Why fucking not, man? Anyways, it'll allow me to stay on longer, I suppose. Anyways, with that said, I'm going to be signing off. I feel like there's one more thing that I'm missing. Well, fuck it. fuck it, man. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.